Okay, looking at the problem, they want me to simplify this, and my initial reaction to simplify this was use the double angle formulas. And what I mean by that is, if you're given this over here, we certainly know a double angle formula for this over here. That would be 2 sine x cosine x. And then if I looked at a double angle formula, I would get, 2 sine 2x cosine 2x. And then if I did the next one, it's going to be minus 2 sine 3x cosine 3x. And that's when I started to realize that the thing is starting to get a little bit too difficult for me, because I have to start to expanding this over here, which is reasonable, but then I got these triple angle formulas. So what I did was I kind of jumped ship on that, and I want the product of sum formulas. Let me go through that with you. So the product of sum formula I'm using, I should say sum to product formulas, by the way. I'm using this one over here, all right? So let's take a look at that. And what do you get over here? Let's write this down. So I'm looking at the sine of 2x. I'm going to write this down. Actually, make sure I'm saying this right. Yeah, the sine of 2x plus the sine of 4x. All right? This can also be commuted around to be sine of 4x plus the sine of 2x. And again, we're looking at this over here. All right? So if I were doing that, the beta would be 4x, and this would be the alpha. Well, let's write that down now and see if we can do that. All right? So let me get my eraser out, because I'm running out of room here. And write it down. What are you going to get? You're going to get 2 sine. Now, it's going to be 4x plus 2x, which is 6x, and 6x divided by 2 is 3x, times the cosine. Now it's going to be beta, which is 4x minus 2x, which is 2x, over 2, which is x. All right, so that turned out to be pretty nice. And let me show you where that is. So that's going to be written, this over here is identical to this over here. All right. Then what did I do? I wrote it down again. I wrote the whole thing down. So I wrote this thing down. We will be subtracting another thing away, but I'll write this one down over here. And then I took the other one, which is this guy over here, and I did use the double angle formulas in that. And the reason for that, it involves the 3x. All right. I wanted to put that down. All right. So once I got that written down, what I did was I factored out a common factor between those two terms. And the common factor between those two terms is 2 sine 3x, all right? Now, where's that going to be? It's the 2 sine 3x, 2 sine 3x. What's left over? Cosine x minus cosine 3x. All right, that's what's left over. Let me get my eraser out and indicate I'm pretty satisfied that I was able to get there, all right? Now, what I want to do is I want to look at, give me 1 second to look. I want to look at this over here, and I'm going to use, this difference to a product, all right? So looking at that, let me just write that down for you. And I'm looking at, what am I looking at? Cosine of x, write this over here, minus cosine of 3x. You understand the alpha is x and the beta is 3x. All right, let's write this down then. What are you going to get? You're going to get 2 sine. Well, I'm going to add those things together now. It's going to be x plus 3x, which is 4x, and 4x divided by 2 is 2x. Then it's going to be times the sine. Well, looking at that, that's going to be the beta minus the alpha. Well, that's going to be a little more complicated. Let's see, beta minus alpha, that's 3x minus x, which is 2x. And then 2x divided by 2 is going to be x. All right, I got that part covered. So let's take a look and see if that's written down. And again, we're looking at this. That's what I'm looking at over here. And we did figure this out over here. Then what do? We write it down. So we're going to write that down. So what do we get? We get 2 sine. You may wonder what I'm writing down. I'm writing down this now. So 2 sine 3x. Whoops. And then what do you get over there? Well, you get 2 sine 2x times sine of x. And what does that equal? Well, sine 2x plus sine 4x minus sine 6x. All right? So what do we do over here? Let's kind of move things around a little bit. I'm seeing 4 sine 3x times sine 2x times sine of x. Kind of remarkable, actually. And I'm going to say it's the simplest form I could come up with. All right, let's look at the k. Make sure that's written down, and that's written down right over here. All right? Thank you.